Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Business by Belief. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. Getting ready for Christmas. It finally turned cold, so bundle up. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about how much we work and why we work. And, I titled the episode Working to Idolize or Working to Live. We have a tendency every day, we just kind of get up, go to work, come home, repeat. Some of us work, you know, 3 or 4 days a week. Some of us work 5 or 6 days a week. Some of us maybe seven. And of course, different shifts and things like that. But why are we working the way we work, and the importance of working to feed our families and take care of our families is should be the highest priority we have when it comes to getting up and going to work every day. And even in the Bible, it talks about how important it is to do it with all your effort, to put your heart into it. In Colossians 3, verse 23, whatever you do, do it with all your heart, as if working for the Lord and not for human masters. And that's kind of what we're going to get into today is why are we working as hard as we do? But, what are we working for? And I kind of made two lists, and you can add to these lists all day long. There's really probably no end to both of them, but a good and a bad. And the good things that we we tend to go to work for are the things that are important on a day to day basis. They're important for our families. They're biblical. So we go to work to provide food. We go to work for shelter, medical needs. We are looking to try to make sure that we're taken care of when it comes to retirement. We work to make sure that we can, tie to the church. And of course, we're working for God to serve Him and help serve His people. But then there's the bad side. And that's where I think, tend to focus more on, or what we tend to focus more on when we look at making more money or getting a promotion or things like that. And just a few things on that list that are on the bad side. What are we really going after? What is our goal? And for a lot of us, and I'm guilty too, money, material goods, bragging rights, showmanship, and pride. I think that whole list could probably be doubled. And I think that almost all of us are guilty of every single one of those. But I, I've come to a realization in the last couple of years, and I'm not saying that I don't still struggle with this because I do, but I can work a lot less and for less money if I just focus only on that good list, right? So if I quit focusing on having a nice car, you know, or having nicer clothes, or being able to do things for the kids or with the kids that really at the end of the day don't matter, buying them nicer clothes or more sporting equipment or more makeup or whatever it might be, and that stuff really doesn't matter. Worry about fixing the house up and making it nicer, and there's all sorts of things that we tend to focus on instead of the actual point. And the point of working is to take care of our families. But that bad side, it can encompass it covers so many things in our day-to-day life, like say cars, boats, campers, electronics, phones, furniture and jewelry, and the size of your house, maybe the neighborhood you live in. We're trying to take a step up on some sort of social, some sort of ladder that gives us a better social status, makes us more popular. And then you have to ask yourself, why are you popular? Is it because there's people like you, or because you have more money? So I think that all is a problem that most of us deal with. I'm guilty of it too. Like I said, I mean, I want to have a nice car. I want to make sure my house is nice and up to date and remodeled if we can remodel it. And but that can also get you into a lot of trouble. And now you are spending time working to make money to pay for these things that at the end of the day and at the end of your life really don't matter. There's an old saying, and I'm sure everybody's heard it, or if you haven't, that's kind of gone around for a long time. The golden heaven will be under our feet; it will no longer be idolized. So all of that shiny stuff that we idolize here on earth isn't going to matter anymore when we get to heaven. At that point, we're walking on the streets of gold. It's instead of being at our eyes and above our eyes where we look up to it, below our feet. It just doesn't matter anymore. And in Revelations 21:18, it says the wall was made of jasper and the city of pure gold, as pure as glass. So it's a kind of gold that we don't even recognize on earth. We just can't even envision how pure and clear that gold is going to be. So anything that we're trying to idolize and get here on earth doesn't even match up to what's going to be in heaven. Gold, jewelry, silver, whatever it may be, any material object, that we idolize doesn't compare to anything in heaven. We just can't match up to it. We can't picture it. It's beyond anything that we can comprehend until we get there. And there's another old saying that my pastor likes to say, and I know it's been around a long time too, but you never see a hearse pulling a U-Haul. You just can't take any of this stuff with you when you go. And so, what's the point in working so hard for it? What's the point in obtaining all this stuff that's just going to be somebody else's junk one day? Is it nice to have? Yes. Does it make you feel good when you have it? Yes. But does it accomplish anything in your daily life and your daily walk with Christ? No, probably not. If you kind of change your focus to more of that good list where you just want to make sure you can provide food and shelter, and if your kids get sick they can go to the doctor, and you can help people in need, and tie to the church, then if you can focus solely on those 6 or 7 things that are really just kind of the core parts of our lives, then you can free up a lot of time. You can lessen the amount of stress in your life, because the more of that stuff that you buy, the more of it you have to take care of, the more of it you have to keep up with. And then it's never good enough. Now you want the next good thing. Now you want the next new boat that came out, or the next size up of camper, or that you want to take another step up on the corporate ladder, so that you have you've got some more bragging rights. Your pride is a little bit higher, and but it never ends. You just keep wanting to get more and more and more and better and better and better. But the one thing that you can get when you step away from that side of the equation and focus on the good side is more time with your family. You've got more time to relax and rest. You've got more time to enjoy what God has blessed you with. You have more time to get in fellowship with God. And you've got more time to spend at the church, and to fellowship with everybody at church, and be a contributor there, instead of somebody who just comes in. And I think that our focus on why we work so hard really just kind of makes our life, we're making our own lives harder. If we just kind of step back and say, this is what I need, this is what's important, the rest of it really doesn't matter. What my neighbors think about what I drive doesn't matter. They're not paying my bills, I am. They're not staying up at night trying to figure out how to pay for it, I am. So I think if we did more of that as a society, we'd have a lot more time, and probably a lot less incidents of things, just anger and road rage and violence, because people are so stressed out over trying to buy this stuff and keep it, that it really just drives some people crazy. I really think if we could just do that, and focus more on God, that it would change a lot of things in society. I think violence would go down. I think theft would go down. Greed would definitely go down. And I think our hearts would just be in a better place. So it's kind of a quick one today, but that's been kind of on my heart for a little while, and kind of put it together and wanted to go ahead and get it out. I know it's been a while. But if you got any thoughts or feedback, I'd love to hear from you on it. But I just, that, like I said, that's really been on my heart. And I just wish there was a way to say there was a magic switch that you could turn on and turn off, but you can't, and I can't either. We just have to be careful of what we do. We need to continue to pray about it and ask for strength to just quit idolizing those other things, those material things, money and objects, and try to control and be convicted when we get prideful, and let God work in you. And I think that we'll all see that we can kind of turn that ship around a little bit. Until next time, love everybody. If I don't talk to you before Christmas, have everybody have a Merry Christmas. Remember to celebrate, the birth of Christ, not just presents and all that fun stuff too, but Hopefully I'll talk to you before then, but if not, love everybody and take care.